Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Today's video is sponsored by Ollie F, who wanted to see Urza Saga lands in action. And luckily, an article dropped on this very archetype recently. The Saga of Lands, Urza Saga in Lands FAQ. I will link to this in the video description so you can take a look at it. I'm going to summarize the most important part. So why would we want to play Urza Saga in lands? Well, Urza Saga is all the rage right now in at least 3 different formats. I think that's about how many it's legal in. And the ability to make just giant constructs and then tutor for something is really gross. Specifically, in lands, it has a super cool interaction with Thespian Stage. Okay, so I'm gonna get weird, so bear with me. If you Thespian Stage and copy an Urza Saga, it begins as an Urza's Saga with no lore counters on it. It can't even tap for mana. And then at the beginning of your next upkeep, you add 1 lore counter to it. It can tap for mana. Now the following upkeep, you put the second lore counter on it, and it gains the ability to make constructs. Here's where it gets interesting. If at that point you copy some other land, it will retain the ability to keep making constructs. Why is that? Because that's the way it works. Things are a little messy there in terms of layers. There's a very nice metaphor that explains it in the article. The coolest thing, though, is that if with the 3rd Saga chapter trigger on the stack, you turn Thespian Stage into another land, you will actually get to resolve and search your library for an artifact without actually sacrificing your Thespian Stage that was previously an Urza Saga, and it will retain the ability to still make constructs. Woo! I'm sure that's very straightforward and clear for why that works the way it does. Urza Saga has been a little bit of a headache in terms of interactions. Another good one is that if you play a Blood Moon, it just nukes an Urza Saga. So, the reason I've chosen this specific deck list is because it has Karn, Scion of Urza, which also makes construct tokens. And when Karn enters play and pluses, it has 6 loyalty, which is a metric crap ton, especially when you can back it up with removal like Punishing Fire or other defensive tools like Maze of Ith or Field of the Dead Zombie. So I'm actually really excited to try out this list. Note, we're pretty light in terms of an Urza Saga tutor package. We're really here for the constructs. There's an expedition map, a pirate spell bomb, and most of the time we'll probably just grab a Mox Diamond and increase our artifact count and mana count simultaneously. The sideboard, though, does have a couple of cute 1-ofs for Urza Saga, most notably Meekstone, to stop those pesky Delver threats from untapping. We also have Endurance, which is just like one of the best cards in Legacy. Like, I love this card. It is such a great sideboard card. I play it in basically any green deck I can justify playing it in. And otherwise, we are really looking to shore up the combo matchups with the sideboard with all of these Thorn and Sphere effects, because we're a little soft to combo in game 1 just by the nature of this archetype, but we should be able to ground most rare archetypes into dust. Right, let's see how this one does in action. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing for sweet Legacy, Modern, and Vintage actions 7 days a week. If you are subscribed, throw me a like before we get started. It's the easiest way to support my content for free. Let's battle, and if you have any of your own deck lists you want to see on the channel, donation information, as well as this deck list if you want to try it out, is in the video description. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's take a quick look at this. Hand is interesting. I think this is a keep, but I'll have to decide whether or not this is going to become like an Urza Saga hand, or whether it's going to become a Merit hand. And it is probably going to become an Urza Saga hand after seeing that, because of Source of Ushers and Caracas and Flickerwisp all being things that are threatening here. I do want to start by saying I think lands is one of the hardest archetypes to play in Legacy, just generally speaking. There's so many decision trees. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Urza's Saga here. We're going to discard the land that does not produce mana. I'll play the Urza Saga. And then I can loop an Exploration into play and get a Thespian Stage into play. And we can make some constructs and then go ahead and play, or not play, copy stage with copy Saga with Thespian stage and kind of do our thing that way. Alright, Athalia is fine. I'll have to decide whether or not I actually want to remove that. I think it's just better to make a construct. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and make a construct. Alright, Vial ticks up. My opponent can attack, because my construct would only be a 2-2. And, oh, it's just an Ether Vial. That's not bad at all. That is bad. Okay, which is more valuable, a construct or being able to crop rotation away one of my lands in response to Wasteland? It will be exactly one construct. Oh, that Wasteland is awful for me. Yeah, that's very bad. Oh, I probably need to just hold up crop rotation. That sucks. Like, the strength of my hand is now gone. Alright, so this is a draw step Urza Saga. Nuke. So I can do this song and dance, cast a crop rotation this away. Just getting another one immediately? Probably. Go ahead and just grab another one immediately. Oh, do I immediately tick this up, by the way? When I go to my main phase? Huh. Okay, that's a cool interaction. Alright, opponent has something end step. A Stoneforge. Stoneforge for Caldera is terrifying. Yep. I think my opponent is getting this game. Like, I was stuck on mana. I didn't get to Urza Saga immediately to just increase the damage potential and, like, blocking ability that I had. So I think my opponent just gets to absolutely run away with the game here. Alright. Fine. Fine. Just gonna go ahead and concede to that second Wasteland. Like, we're not happening from there. Alright. What do I want to do against Death and Taxes? So there's some things that I can board in, and that's this stuff. So it's probably going to be easiest to figure out, like, what don't I want versus this deck. Probably don't want Bojuka Bog. Most of the rest of the stuff here is pretty reasonable. I don't super care about Ether Vial, but some of the pieces of equipment, especially Caldera, are a little bit annoying. I think I want the possibility of ambushing my opponent's smaller creatures with endurance, and I think I want 2-ish answers to equipment and or Vial. I think Expedition Map is pretty slow for this matchup. I think I'm going to replace that with a Pithing Needle as an answer to Vial. And I want at least one Force of Vigor. I go down like a crop rotation and like one Sylvan Library for that. It's also possible the Karn could go, because my artifact count might not be low enough to consistently be safe after minusing it. We'll see. Like, this is a deck I'm not familiar with playing. Also pretty sure there's a sideboard guide in that article that I linked, but I'd rather just kind of do my thing and try to figure it out on my own. I'll learn more that way. Alright, let's see what this hand looks like. It's a hand improved by a lot of draws. It's a hand with stable mana. It's a hand with a Punishing Firelock. Sure. Alright. Land go. I don't think there's a real need to run out the Pithing Needle on turn 1, because my opponent has a hand with both an Ether Vial. Ooh. With both an Ether Vial and a Mother of Runes. I don't want to give them the opportunity to play one that will be significantly better than the other. Let's go Thespian Stage, Wooded Foothills, and Pithing Needle that Ether Vial. Shut off that angle of attack for my opponent. Vial can still tick up, but does not get to tap. Land into Stoneforge, sure. So that's going to grab the Caldera, which is terrifyingly good against me. However, I will have Punishing Fire to just answer that. Let's fetch a Taiga now. Alright, we don't want to mess around with that in terms of timing, but I'm very happy to have this card. So let's go ahead and nuke Stoneforge Mystic. Go 1-2. Don't think I need to return this immediately. I'm going to leave up Thespian stage, copying a land. Probably my forest, maybe my taiga. Okay. At that point, I will go ahead and do the thing and return the Punishing Fire to my hand. Yes. Alright. So rest in peace can go ahead and exile my stuff. Alright. Caracas is strong. Okay, Karn is just sick in this position. I'm very happy about this draw. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Karn. Minus, minus. I think this is minus, minus. Because I will have a pair of 3/3s next turn and still have a Karn around that can do other stuff. I have one removal spell for my opponent's first creature. But it's possible just, like, sending this up is strong. Like, sending this up is just worse against Council's Judgment specifically. Or against Skyclave. I think it's correct to just make my Duder. Like, guarantee my value out of the card in that way. Yeah. So Skyclave is going to nuke this Karn. And then I will get to destroy this. Right now and hit in, probably. Yeah. Punishing Fire. Take that out. Get a 4/4. And crash in for 2. I'll hold this Tabernacle. It's not something that I need yet. I think I'm going to Thespian stage and copy Rishatenport. I think that is currently my plan. Alright, Stoneforge is good here. This means a second piece of equipment in addition to just Cauldra. Batterskull is strong. Let's copy a Rishatenport. Now, ooh. That's almost good. That's almost good. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and crash in for 6. Get in there, little buddies. This puts my opponent to 13. Then I will make them live in fear of this combo. Because I get to Rishatenport down their Caracas at some point in their turn. Unless they Rishatenport my Rishatenport. Okay, they saw the line. That's fine. I'll work towards doing that another turn or so down the line. I would not be surprised to see my opponent get rid of their Stoneforge here. We'll see, though. They are not going for putting it in the upkeep. Alright, they're also not going for Cauldra. They're wanting to get their Batterskull in. And I think this is an opportunity where I just make another Rishatenport. And then I can go for a Dark Depths kill next turn. Just quick math check. So 1, 2 mana pays for my creatures. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana remaining. 2 of that is for Rishatenport. I'll need to hit another land. But I don't think I'm necessarily in a hurry to just close out this game. My opponent's at 13. I think I'm going to go ahead and pay for this stuff. Okay. And I'll just hang back here. I know my opponent has both Cauldra and Batterskull. Oh, there's Cauldra. Now, Cauldra is indestructible. So this, always yield to these. So they don't actually have to pay for this. Because Tabernacle destroys it, but it looks like my opponent does not know that. So currently I have access to Rishatenport down Caracas. And then produce Maritlage. Which is pretty strong. So... I can just soak up a little damage here. That's fine. Save myself 2 life. I don't really want to pay for this construct. Yep. Alright, so in the... Do I want to do the second main phase? I'll separate the mana between phases. Awkwardly, this allows my opponent to play a second Caracas if they have one, or potentially use the mana in their main phase still. Okay. So let's attempt to make a Maritlage. Alright, so we copy the Dark Depths. Keep the copy. Is one of your remaining 5 cards a Swords of Plowshares or Path to Exile? It appears the answer is no. Wait, hold on. Undo. Don't need to pay for that one. Need to pay for this one. Yes. Okay. It appears that I now have the win. Get him. Guess this one can attack into. Just in case. Okay, this is horrible timing for this Source of Plowshares because now I get a draw off Waterlogged Grove to find crop rotation for Sajiri Step. That did not occur though. Opponent not punished. Okay. What is the game plan now? Not exactly sure what my path to victory entails. Okay, my opponent figured out the Phyrexian Germ thing after I showed it with Perilage. So I am going to tap down just your Rishadan port, I think. I don't want my own Rishadan port getting ported. And I take 5 damage here. Not quite as much damage as I thought. Or, well, okay, that's not exactly what I mean. It doesn't feel like that much damage because I am at 31 life due to gaining 20. Pyrite Spellgum can kill us Stoneforge, but I think it is just better to cycle this to draw a card. Draw Ghost Quarter. Alright, not great. I am in trouble here. I do not expect to win this one. I'm dead in approximately 3 turns. Alright. So my opponent has to pay for one of these germs and not the other. And this. Alright, the Stoneforge just eats it. Tap down. I'll continue to just do that. Now I can trade the Batterskull Germ for this illusion. But then longer term, my opponent can just like move the Batterskull to Cauldra, and that is an entirely different messy can of worms. We're seeing a new card being deployed. Oh, nope. Undo. Thing up mana. Sure. Okay, this is actually pretty good. Then my opponent's second main phase, I will Ghost Quarter Caracas. Then I will Crop Rotation, get a Dark Depths, and try to hit them for 20. I'm going to take 5. 3 mana for a Council's Judgment. Now that's going to take my Pithing Needle. That's fine. By Pithing Needle. A Wasteland. Okay. I will Ghost Quarter your Wasteland. You'll respond by trying to Wasteland my Rishadan port. Oh wow, they just took the mana. Unexpected. Okay. I'm going to Crop Rotation away this Tabernacle. Actually, Tabernacle can stay. Good against other things that my opponent can do if things go wrong. Crop Rotation. Grab the Dark Depths. Okay, you remember a second ago when I said I didn't think we were going to win that game? I was a liar. Okay, after playing that, I think I need another copy or 2 of Force of Vigor because Cauldra is just terrifying. Let's do that. And maybe go down 1 life from the Loam. Am I getting too cute with Endurance? I don't think I am. Like, there's so many, like, Thalia, Spirit of the Labyrinth, Phyrexian Revoker-sized creatures that it just eats. Good surprise. I guess the green is a little harder in this deck than in other decks that I've been playing. Yeah, actually, that's kind of true. Maybe I play 1 and I play all 3 Force of Vigors. I could buy that. Alright, now I am going to be on the draw. Assuming Phyrexian Revoker doesn't happen, this hand is reasonable. I don't think it's insane, but it's reasonable. How it plays out is kind of very dependent on what my opponent does, as well as like what I draw. Well, Urza Saga is plan. I play at least 1 Mox Diamond here. I probably play both because of Thalia. Actually, I play both so that I can cast Endurance. I think that means I get rid of Tabernacle, given that I'm going to have approximately a bajillion creatures. Yeah, and I can have Endurance or Crop Rotation on my opponent's turn. This is a very strong opener. That Urza Saga was just a sick rip. Alright, so end step. I will produce Endurance. I don't want to do this to either player here. Oh my god. Another Urza Saga is sick. That just lets me hold up Crop Rotation. Yeah, disgusting. Let's send in Endurance. My opponent does 17. I'll pass the turn. Oh, no Mother of Runes, no early Swords to Plowshares. Yeah, that's a Wasteland. Alright, Skyclave Apparition is fine. Just targets a Mox. That's okay. I mean, it's good. But this, like, falls into the level of things that I was expecting to happen. Alright, and that'll be the end of turn. Now, with this Urza Saga, with these triggers on the stack, I want to make a construct with this one, I believe. Yeah, there's no way that I can do constructs this turn. Although if I just float mana with this one, then I can play like Ancient. No, I can just play Wasteland, tap Wasteland, and then make the construct that way while still holding up Mox Diamond. Is that better than just Wastelanding my opponent and keeping them mana light? Okay, there's also next turn to think about. My Urza Saga getting a Pyrite Spellbomb, or just another Mox. Holy shit, this turn is hard. I think it gets another Mox. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Create that construct. Then the other one gains the ability. Then I do this tutoring thing. Okay. But why are you giving me this information? Oh, I see. Because of Pithing Needle. That's why you're doing it. Okay. Do I want a Pithing Needle Stoneforge? Yeah, I think I want a Pithing Needle. Yeah, I'll Pithing Needle Stoneforge. Alright. I'll Pithing Needle Stoneforge Mystic. I have 2 4/4s. And then I will go ahead and Wasteland your Wasteland. And then crash in for 7, intending to just do an aggro finish to this game. Really weird things can happen still involving Flicker Wisps. Like, Flicker Wisps can do so much shit here. Destroying my constructs, blinking Pithing Needle, allowing Cauldra to come in. Alright. I think this is a crop rotation the Urza Saga away moment. I can't just immediately make a mana out of it. Let's crop rotation this. And honestly, I probably just get another one. Just keep this chain going. Okay. Skyclave. That eats the Pithing Needle, which allows Cauldra to come into the equation. Okay. This is all somewhat expected. How am I navigating this? Probably just getting Pyrite Spellbomb. I can activate it next turn. Play a land and call it a turn. Got a handful of Force of Vicars I can find to answer that Cauldra. This thing just, like, dominates combat because it has First Strike, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a creature, exile that creature. So, like, even if I make my constructs bigger than a 5/5, this can still just be a defensive wall that I can't get through. The other thing I can do is just, like, build a board that can kill my opponent in turn, like, with a single attack in. Okay. Exploration is the thing. I think I want to Pyrite Spellbomb this. Let's do 2 damage to this Skyclave. What is this targeting? Okay, it is targeting the Skyclave itself. My opponent is tight on mana here. Alright. That's fine. I think I'll go ahead and put this exploration into play, despite the fact that it doesn't really do anything right now, other than cost me a life. Because the potential to do just broken things if I draw a life from the Loam is really high. Alright. Yeah, like another Flicker Wisp. Oh, Recruiter. Recruiter is savage here. I assume Recruiter just gets Flicker Wisp. Yeah. And my opponent's likely to hardcast the Flicker Wisp, Flicker Recruiter, get a new Flicker Wisp, and just kind of stay safe. Okay, so here's the Flicker Wisp. Alright, targets the Recruiter, kind of as expected. No attacks. Recruiter comes back and grabs a new Flicker Wisp. Okay, yep. All exactly like I expected. I will just continue to build my construct army, because there's not too much else that I can do. Tap Ancient Tomb. No, I probably just tap both of these. I don't think I want to cycle this currently. Am I out of good targets? I am out of good targets. I don't think I want this mana, but I don't want to draw this card later. So I'm just going to pull that out of my deck. And I will not play this because I have Exploration. I don't need to show my opponent that yet. If I attack in with all of these, I can do some damage, but I'd again rather try to kill in a single turn. I don't want to throw away bodies, because if I just draw something like a Life from the Loam, it's pretty damn potent at being able to get this Tabernacle and then reduce the number of creatures that my opponent has greatly. Alright, Godden Port from the opponent. My opponent can work towards equipping Flicker Wisp with a piece of equipment. I have reach. I have reach. I am a tall boy. Alright. Mother of Runes is not bad. Not an insane draw either. But it does make attacks safer for my opponent. Turn's a little tricky. Because if I cycle Waterlogged Grove, I either have to tap Ancient Tomb and do damage to myself, or I need to tap myself off of colored mana. Neither of which is very good. I think I want to cycle this off Ancient Tomb, though. There's so many potentially good draws here that have colored mana. That is not one of them. Is this a turn where I turn shit sideways? I have 4 5/5s. I can lose 1 to Cauldra, and then a bunch of the others require chump blocks. That might be fine. I might not be winning the long game here due to Mother of Runes. Do something like that. This need to come in too. This might need to come in too. I will let you tap that. That's fine. But I think missing on that draw just puts me into the territory where I am close enough to dead that I need to put my opponent in a bad spot. But we have gotten a lot of chump blocks here, more than I was expecting. Alright, let's see how you choose to navigate this. Is it just going to be Flicker the Recruiter, or are you going to Flicker a Construct? You're going to Flicker the Recruiter. They're going to take 8. Because one of these is going to be exiled. Oh, sorry, they're only taking 1 hit there. Because one of those things that appeared not blocked was actually blocked. Yeah, I am dead to that Palace Jailer. My opponent Palace Jailers this, and then they have 5 + 6, 11, not counting those other 2 creatures. I will go ahead and concede here. I just kind of bottomed out for making a bunch of constructs. Cauldra is so hard to beat in combat. The top of the deck was not going to be helping there either. That was a slog. Okay, I've got an opening hand that seems to be extremely aggressive here. Like I go Taiga, Exploration, Thespian Stage, and then turn 2 I can go like Other Land plus Dark Depths and produce a Merit Lodge, depending on what exactly it looks like on my opponent's side of the battlefield. Actually, I guess I can, like, it's just safer to play something like the Wasteland out this turn, under most circumstances. Alright, we are playing against Affinity. Yeah, in which case, this seems pretty damn strong. Alright, a Blink Moth Nexus means that my opponent could theoretically survive a turn, but I have a Wasteland, so yeah. Alright, Thespian Stage. Target Dark Depths. Keep the copy. Produce a 2020 Tentacle Monster. Destroy Blink Moth. Yep, okay. Turn 3 win. We have a couple of Force of Vigors for this matchup. I think I'll take those for sure. And then it's a question of how do I want to make small adjustments beyond that. I don't want Pyrite Spellbomb. I'd rather have one of these 3 other tutor targets available to me. So it's a question of, like, do I want to stop the large creatures? Do I want to be able to continuously make chump blockers? Or do I want to be able to shut off something like Nettlecyst from re-equipping? All of which are somewhat valid, and this is made a little bit awkward by the fact that, like, I'm trying to ride the Urza's Construct train too, but my opponent's constructs are probably better than mine, most of the time. Do the Retrofitter Foundry. I don't need Bojuka Bog here under most circumstances, outside of maybe a fringe, like Echo-based line. I think Sylvan Library becomes a little bit harder to use because my life total will be under duress. So I think I'll submit like this. Okay. This is an exploration, life from the loam, wastelandy sort of hand. This is totally fine. I can do some cute stuff too if I need it to. Like I could do something like Windswept Heath, fetch a mana source, crop rotation, a mana source, play exploration, try to set up an even stronger life from the loam than normal. But that's probably using the wasteland in too cute of a way, or not the wasteland, the crop rotation in too cute of a way. All right, basic land, opal, have a broken start. Vault Scourge. Okay, so that's probably indicative of cranial plating. All right, Yavimaya. Yavimaya is not bad here. Yavimaya lets me do this cool thing. If I go Yavimaya or Exploration, and then I can just like play and tap this, or this even, and then they produce green mana. So this wasteland gets to cast Exploration again, and then I have Windswept Heath, and I can set up crop rotation for something. It might just be a Tabernacle, and I just like start attacking my opponent's mana immediately, but it's possible it's supposed to be a Maze of Ith instead, so I'm just gonna chill. Alright, there's another basic land. A new Vault Scourge, sure. Yeah, I think I'm probably getting Tabernacle with this crop rotation, now that my opponent has multiple Vault Scourges and didn't play a Cranial Plating. Alright, so I'll go to 19. And I think I will go ahead and fetch to put a land into my graveyard here. I'll grab a Taiga. I will crop rotation away the Wasteland, although it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be getting it back with Life from the Loam, regardless of what it is. And let's grab Ye Old Tabernacle. Put that stress on my opponent. Alright, cool. So I'll Life from the Loam for 2. Return these lands. I will get to just play both of those. And then pass the turn. I can work towards crop rotation for the combo. I can work towards crop rotation for Blast Zone. Sure. I mean, that's fine. This probably means that I have to hold this crop rotation for a turn, I think, and just like try to figure out how to best use it, because it can become a Field of the Dead, it can become a combo piece, the Maze of Ith. Like it's hard to say exactly what this is doing. Thoughtcast is fine, although good. I think I'm willing to just take 2 to wait 1 turn and see if I get a better feel for what crop rotation should be doing. Although I will just fetch and thin my deck here. Alright, Thespian Stage. Okay, that means that I can just produce a Merit Lodge this turn cycle. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Can I do both? 4 mana for Karn. Karn, pick up. Find a land. I can do both. Really? No, let's just try to make the Merit Lodge. Take that out. Then pass the turn, go for Merit Lodge. If my opponent doesn't hold up Echoing Truth or leave back some Vault Scourges, things are bad for them. Alright, they have paid for their duders. I guess there's Force of Will type cards to think about too. Cranial Plating represents a lot of damage. And they legend roll a Mox Opal to get this equipped. Fine. So there's 6 incoming damage. I don't think there's any commonly played card that beats me here anyway. Crop rotation away the Taiga. Grab a Dark Depths. Thespian Stage will copy Dark Depths. I keep the OG one. Or not the OG one. I keep the Thespian Stage one, is the better way to phrase that. And let's go ahead and block there. My opponent does gain some life, so it will take 2 attacks to kill them. I will not prevent the destruction of my Merit Lodge. Starting with the obvious, attack for 20. My opponent to 5. And Karn is an interesting distraction. I think I play it because I can Ghost Quarter the Blink Moth on my next turn. And it can't be a blocker. Karn plus. I'm gonna get a Mox Diamond that doesn't do anything. Not have a counter. Oh, it has a counter on it here. I see. Alright, so my opponent gets Darksteel Citadel. Use your last card like an Echoing Truth or equivalent. Like, no. So my opponent could activate their Blinkmoth Nexus with Island in order to kill Karn here. Oh, they just went for my face. Surprising to me. Play and cycle Waterlogged Grove to start this turn. Draw a card. I'm looking for a Wasteland effect. So, go ahead and minus. Grab a life from the Loam. Use the Wasteland effect that I already have in play. Alright, and my opponent loses the game. I think they needed to kill my Karn using the play that I outlined so that I can't get back the life from the Loam, and then they get to buy another turn to look for an Echoing Truth type card that answers Merit Lodge. But I was in a pretty good position anyway. Okay, I think this is round 3 now. I've kept my opening hand. The kind of interesting thing about it is what I do with the Wooded Foothills. If it looks like my opponent is going to be a deck... Oh! Going to be a deck that has Wastelands, then I can't fetch Taiga, which means that I'm getting Forest, so I don't get Wastelanded. But just getting a basic swamp on turn 1. Okay, we are playing against Hogaak. Believe it will be fine to grab Taiga then. Although it's not like Punishing Fire is insane in this matchup. Alright, so fetch. Taiga, Exploration, Stage, pass. We'll see if we can make it through this turn without anything disastrous happening. Because disastrous things definitely can happen here. Hogaak is very explosive on its good draws, and Stitcher's Supplier is usually the start of the good draws. Alright, Cabal Therapy. Oh, targeting themselves. They have put a Bridge from Below into their graveyard. So now they can sacrifice the Stitcher Supplier with Cabal Therapy. And then target me this time. My opponent is pausing. Are they thinking about whether or not they want to attack for 1? That is what they're thinking about. Alright, Bridge from Below makes a zombie. And the Cabal Therapy name's Crop Rotation, which is a great name, because that can hit Bojuka Bog and really mess with what they've got going on. Now, Underground Sea is going to come down and return the Bloodghast from Graveyard. My opponent will get 2 Cabal Therapy away 2 of my cards. So here's the first. Guessing I lose Library Karn. Karn is the first name. And then the second one happens. Get another zombie. And this one takes my Sylvan Library. Okay, kind of all like I expected. My opponent is favored here, but I've got my own broken things that can happen. Yeah, that was just literal best draw in my deck, I think. I cannot think of anything that punishes me for waiting, but I also can't think of anything that punishes me for doing it now. I am just going to do the thing now. Here is my Merit Lodge. Hello and good luck. Okay, yep, we stole that game with that draw. Apologies if you end up hearing this Weed Whacker, by the way. There's not much I can do about that. Okay, I would like Endurance here. I think, like, the ability to nuke my opponent's graveyard while committing my own mana to other places is totally solid. And it also can just break Bridge from Below, which is pretty strong. Peak Stone is kind of interesting. Could stop a Hogaak from attacking twice, but the Hogaak attacked once already and I probably took 8 from it. I'm not sure if I'm actually supposed to play that. Some of the removal here, like Punishing Fire and Pyrite Spellbomb, is pretty As like Bridge from Below is a thing that exists, but I think I still need access to them. Could Pyroblast for things like Hedron Crab, but again, that doesn't really feel great. Yeah, I think I'm just going to be sideboarding 2 Endurances. Maybe going down 1 Sylvan Library because my life total is in trouble. And I like most of these cards. I don't really know what I want to cut the second time. You know what? I think Pyrite Spellbomb is going to be hard to use. Let's replace it with the Retrofitter Foundry. And then I'll maybe trim 1 Karn. Okay, this is a hand that has access to an early crop rotation for Bojuka Bog. I will go ahead and keep this. The hand itself isn't overly impressive, but if crop rotation for Bojuka Bog, or if my opponent has a slow start, it can just be a Thespian stage, and I can go for the turn 3 Merit Lodge. That would start out on, like, Yavimaya. No, I'd have to start out on Forest. Forest, crop rotation for stage. Dark Depths, Yavimaya, in some order. Okay, opponent has a Leyline. And opponent mulled to 5 as well. Alright, you have a grab. Do I just wasteland my opponent? I feel like the answer is yes. Like, we can restart the game and you have a Hedron Crab in play, but if you didn't keep a 2-lander after your mull to 5, like, you have nothing. Okay, well, they had something. I don't regret it. Alright, opponent not going for the fetch. Let's go Forest Pass. I have the, like, oh shit, Bojuka Bog available to me. I'm not sure that I want to use it. Like, I'd really prefer to just combo off this game. But, like, there could be a lot of cards in the graveyard here. Right, one of the Misty's fetches. Grab triggers. A Gravecrawler, a Bloodcast, a second bridge. I'm going to let this land enter. Bloodcast is going to trigger. This is probably an okay point to just grab this graveyard. Like, I want to make sure I do it while I have priority and while things are pretty safe. Alright. Bojuka Bog. Bog you. Alright, Gravecrawler and Hogaak afterwards. And that's pretty strong. Alright. Okay, there is a Thespian stage. I do not have red mana to Punishing Fire that crab. Alright, let's just go stage pass then. Alright. Opponent just has another Altar of Dementia. Is this power? Power, so they can't even get things going with that. Alright. Play Yavimaya and pass. And next turn I will try to win the game with Merit Lodge. Grab. Grab is a thing. I guess I can turn my Thespian stage into a different land that taps for more colors. Ooh. I mean, Exploration is cool. So that can get me Dark Depths plus, oh, I don't know, the Urza Saga. I don't think I need to play around a Caracas from the other side of the battlefield here. Urza Saga is fine. Alright, no attacks with the Hedron Crabs. So, do I win? Target Dark Depths. Tapping 1, 2. And we have won the match. Okay, it feels nice when opponent can't interact with my win condition. Hello, is Life from the Loam a good magic card? Yes/no. Discard Taiga. Mox Diamond number 2. Discard Waterlog Grove. Life from the Loam. Targeting the 2 lands that I discarded. 1, 2. Loop them on back to the hand. Lay out a Thespian stage. And we're going to look to assemble a combo. Alright, Once Upon a Time. Could be Elves, could be Eldrazi. Oh, Vengevine. We are dealing with maybe a Hogaak deck of some kind again. In which case, Operation Merit Lodge has proved to be successful in the past. I guess Hogaak is coming back to combat the Bant decks, which existed to combat the Blue-Red Delver decks. Makes sense. Alright, Bridge and Vengevine going to the yard. Alright. Let's Reg. Okay. I don't really need four life from the Loams. But if I must, I will sacrifice this and draw a card. I do think I want a dredge, though. Alright, so I will turn these 3 cards to my hand, do this thing. So I found my Dark Depths, which is what I was trying to do by dredging. So I will just attempt to win the game next turn. Well, not next turn, but I will attempt to make the 2020 Tentacle Monster and then swing for lethal the following turn. Alright, opponent fetches. BW. You gotta do something broken involving at least one Vengevine here. Like, a hand that beats me probably involves at least one Stitcher Supplier, if not 2. That's a second Vengevine, that's pretty good. That's a second Stitcher Supplier. Opponent has a chance. So the second Stitcher Supplier sends a Bloodghast down there. I'll take 8 this turn. That's fine. A lot, but it's fine. I'm at 12. 12 is not 10. No, that's a trap. Let's just win the game. So again, because I can't think of anything that punishes me, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this now. And I will make my 2020 critter. This soaks up the first 8 damage that my opponent can do to me. So I'm not exactly sure what their outs are. 2 Vengevines? That do it? Yeah, getting both of the other Vengevines would do it. I guess they could also mill me out. Alright, so here they go, trying to do their thing. Altar of Dementia does not floop anything relevant with that hit. They've got to keep going. They just have to like establish a Hogaak loop that can mill me out. All right, they go deeper. Still no Hogaak. Second bridge though. Right. Still no Hogaak. Okay, there's a Hogaak. Hogaak with 3 bridges, I think, means I am deterministically dead. Because they Hogaak, and then they get 3 creatures out of the deal, which allows them to re-Hogaak. I don't know how milling out works with life from the loam, though. Like, can I replace my draw with dredging if I have no cards in my library? I don't actually know the answer to that question. I guess since I don't know the answer to that question, I should not concede here. I think I'm going to cut to my turn, where I go ahead and figure out the answer to that question, though. Okay, so my opponent has milled me out now. So let's see how this whole life from the loam thing works. Okay, so if I cannot draw the card, I cannot use the replacement effect from Dredge. That's what I thought, but I was not 100% sure. If I would have conceded there, the YouTube comments would have killed me if I was wrong. Alright, I want Endurance in. I think I'm going to Pithing Needle in for Altar of Dementia so that same thing doesn't happen again. Go Spellbomb out and Karn's out. I think I boarded one out before and then boarded out one Sylvan Library, but it's possible just digging for the combo is more important than anything else here. Okay, what is this opening hand? It's a little bit of acceleration, a little bit of removal, a little bit of dig. This isn't the most broken hand in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but I think I keep it. A Leyline. Okay. Alright. Land. Exploration. I don't think I want to go this construct route. I think I just want persistent mana sources right now. So I'm just going to play Grove as my second land. Thespian Stage is the dream draw here. Alright, Once Upon a Time is my opponent's first spell. Getting a Stitcher Supplier. That card is obviously pretty dope. Oh, they're not going for it. This may mean that they have a Vengevine in hand that they want to discard and try to go for double spells on turn 2. Crop Rotation. Does that get me there immediately? So, Crop Rotation gets Thespian Stage. I play Dark Depths. And then I go 1, 2. Yeah, this just produces a big boy. Alright. We've probably got things here. Careful Study. Chunking a Bloodghast, which will come back. We don't want to be thinking about Bojuka Bog here. I want to be just thinking about winning the game. So unless we reach like threat level, midnight levels of graveyard shenanigans, um, I will not be using this for anything other than just producing Marilage. I think the Urza Saga is the land I don't want. What's green? Crop rotation. Get the Thespian stage. Thespian stage will target Dark Depths. I will keep my copy. I produce the Tentacle Monster. And I'll crash in for my 20. Alright, good stuff. I don't think I want Force of Vigor to answer Relay Line. Like, sure, it shuts off life from the Loam. But, like, that's whatever. My plan for if my opponent has Relay Line is just produce Marilage. Like, that is what I intend to do. I don't really want to dilute my deck with Force of Vigor. Now, that said, Punishing Fire feels pretty medium because of the existence of Bridge from Below. So, maybe I'm wrong, but Punishing Fire answers crabs. I'm just gonna hit submit. This opening hand is okay. It has various things that do stuff. I think I keep this hand. It has a combo piece already. I have the ability to tutor for the second combo piece. I have Endurance as like an oh shit card. Yeah, I think this is fine. Your Gravecrawler is fine. I do think this hand is difficult to play though. Okay, now probably not. Now I just probably Wasteland. Yeah, I think I will go ahead and just Wasteland. Just likely slows my opponent from doing down their most broken things possible. And if my opponent doesn't have more lands, or they play multiple creatures, I can potentially just destroy them with a Tabernacle. And Tabernacle becomes a mana-producing land a little bit later via crop rotation. This is fine. Let's just play out Tabernacle and start that game. Tabernacle pass. Like this may be a game where I just like Tabernacle and then Wasteland and go from there, like, rather than trying to just turbo into the combo as quickly as possible. Although I can still do that. I can play Yavimaya next turn, Yavimaya away, Tabernacle, then go Thespian stage, produce Marilage. I've got options. All right, Misty from the opponent. I'll take 2. Sylvan Library. Am I good with continuing to just hurt on my opponent's mana? I think so. Like, they're not doing anything broken right now. And I have a safety net of Endurance, and Endurance now can pitch Sylvan Library rather than the crop rotation. I think I'm okay to just keep taking 2 to just play the control role here. Alright. Opponent is fetching to save their Gravecrawler. That's fine. Alright, a Delta. I'll take 2. That's fine. Alright. Do I want play Maze of Ith and continue play this like safe game? I'm not sure. I think the answer is yes. Because then next turn I get to play Yavimaya. I can like hard cast an Endurance in addition to working towards crop rotation Thespian stage stuff. I don't know. Like every turn I wait is the potential of my opponent just being able to combo off using the graveyard though. Although I don't know that they can really combo off through the graveyard while I have Endurance. There's a Vengevine. New land from the opponent. Right. Your play a Thoughtseize. I just let that happen. Don't think I need to nuke the graveyard here. I probably lose my crop rotation here. Means I keep Endurance, which is sick. Although in some ways, this sort of scenario for like Thoughtseize exactly is a reason why I should have considered just going for the kill sooner. But I think I'm still quite favored from this position. Alright, opponent didn't bother to attack into the Maze of Ith. Alright, Mox Diamond good? Probably. It gives me access to red mana, if that's something that I end up needing. Alright. Now I have Tabernacle plus Hardcast Endurance. And then sometime in the not-too-distant future, I'll play Sylvan Library and use that as filtering to find my other combo piece. Alright, a Careful Study. Junking a Hogaak. Cabal Therapy. Well, I do have to respond. to that. I will floop Endurance into play. I will nuke your graveyard. Goodbye. Now you can take my Sylvan Library, unfortunately. Yep. Alright, so it's my turn to pay the old Tabernacle tax. Alright. I think I go ahead and crash in. Send my opponent to 11. Then I will untap my critter. And I'll play a Thespian stage. And I currently have the intention of copying a Maze of Ith, because a Maze of Ith is a green producing land with Yavimaya in play. Right, land. Corrupt Decay. Alright, Assassin's Trophy. Sure. Yes, I will use this ability. We'll get a basic forest. So this was a line that results in it being worse for me to have untapped my creature rather than left up the Maze of Ith. I think I'm just... maybe I do take this out of play. Nah, I'd rather have another Maze of Ith. I'll go to 12. Just doing the idiot check of making sure this isn't a legendary land that I had forgotten about. I was 99.99% sure, but I wanted to confirm. I'm fine with just cycling this here. Draw a card. Alright, Punishing Fire Grove is a thing that exists now. That's totally fine. Enjoy your Tabernacle tax. Alright, opponent is fetching. Grabbing a swamp. This is gonna be... Just cast the bridge from below. Okay. I respect the effective concession there. In turn, I will blow up their Gravecrawler as a sign of respect. Alright. Exploration. Land. Gonna go ahead and return this now. Yes. Pass the turn. Alright, it is my turn again. Pithing Needle is fine. We can put that on Altar of Dementia and just have another layer of security there. Alright. Altar of Dementia. Pass. And now I can start thinking about using the Punishing Fire loop to kill my opponent. Looks like they probably have a Force of Vigor. Exiling their own bridge from below. I respect it. Okay. Citrus Supplier is a thing. Found a Cabal Therapy, sure. An Altar of Dementia, that's not bad. I want to Punishing Fire this creature in response to that to keep them from milling one more card. No, I don't think so. Because Punishing Fire can just, like, clean up creatures that actually would attack me. Oh, that was the reason to do that. Punishing Fire that in response. Alright. That is a Cabal Therapy that targets me, so I guess this is the time where I go ahead and fire off the Punishing Fire. Gravecrawler is pretty likely to be sacrificed anyway. So I guess for, like, bridge from below based reasons, I might as well do it now. Alright, so stuff is happening. I'm gonna need to always yield to some stuff. Always yield to this as well. Punishing Fire fizzles. Opponent gets a zombie. Alright. Their Cabal Therapy misses because I am empty-handed. We'll go ahead and return my Punishing Fire at the end step here. Alright, Mox Diamond, not really the draw I'm looking for. Go ahead and pass the turn. Make my opponent pay for their zombies. Alright, they have paid for their zombies. Now, I'll go ahead and nuke these. Well, I guess I nuke one of them. Now, I don't have a second red mana currently. I'll just call that good. My opponent's also in real danger of timing out, even if they find a Hogaak. Okay. Alright, they start doing the milling thing. Okay, that is a Hogaak. They have a bridge. Get a Vengevine back. Yeah, if my opponent wasn't, like, fooling around earlier and, you know, exiling their own bridge from below and hardcasting their own bridge from below, they could Cabal Therapy themselves, put that other bridge from below into the graveyard, and have, like, a much better chance of actually killing me. I mean, they may still do it anyway. Alright. Sacrifice the Hogaak. Get a first bridge. Or sorry, they still only have the first bridge. Okay, there's a second bridge. So I think now it becomes the time, like, can they physically mill me out? in 3 minutes. If they do anything weird with priority passes, I can also potentially bounce the Hogaak, but I don't know that that's really relevant. So the Hogaak bouncing game is going to continue. Alright, there it is again. I don't know how this works with, like, number of cards required in, like, their library versus my library. I have a feeling I lose here. Alright, back again. One has 9 cards remaining in their library. Alright, they have 1 card remaining in their library. So, time they do the Hogaak, I take 8. Okay, so they're kind of like over-convoking here. Save cards in their graveyard. Now that the Vengevine is tapped, I suppose I can F6. Not gonna get a chance to disrupt with Caracas, and I don't have the ability to return and cast Punishing Fire. Yeah, so if you can physically mill me out, you get it. I won't like undo all of my stops and all my auto yields. Like I'll see if you can do it in a reasonable amount of time. Right, the process repeats. I only have 25 left in library. They can start sacrificing stuff that's on board here. But I might just win this one just due to the nature of Moto lag. Seeming like that's likely. This was a game that was closer on time. Or if this was a game where I didn't have like a 14-minute gap between me and my opponent, I think I would concede this one to them. But I've had to wait a long time for them to make their plays. So I am good with it here. Okay, my opponent has left me with 7 cards in deck. Okay. I want to turn this Maze of Ith into a Grove. Yeah, my opponent is just like, ugh, client being so slow. Yep. I mean, that's what it is. I don't like to win those that way, but I am going to take it. All right, final round. We're currently sitting at 3-1. I'm going to be keeping this opening hand. I'm probably discarding Bojuka Bog and just working towards a fast combo hand. All right, yeah. Discard you. Place this stage. Gain the potential of being able to copy something next turn. Yeah, seems fine. Oh, a Mox Diamond Mirror. That means there's probably Wastelands. Oh, Scrubland. The Dead Guy Ale deck with Mox Diamonds? Called it. Alright, please don't discard my Dark Depths, though. Whew! Alright, Dark Depths into play before that sort of thing happens. We're hoping my opponent has removal spells like Dam and Fatal Push rather than Swords to Plowshares here. Okay, opponent's opener is Stick. Just throwing it out there. Oh, fuck me. That's so fucking good. Oh god. Yeah, I can't copy anything here. I do not have the mana required to do so. Exploration, you're a touch late. Rikamaru 6 has just taken everything I loved and put it into my graveyard. Sinkhole. Okay, so it's not Dead Guy Ale, it's Pox. Well, I guess technically it still could be Dead Guy Ale playing Sinkhole, but Pox seems much more likely. Now, if my opponent doesn't actually have a way to win the game, and they do now, but if they didn't have a way to win the game, I should have played that. Finishing the thought. I win this as things go long due to the presence of life from the Loam. But 3 damage of Shadow a turn is potent. I will only get to life from the Loam once, but life from the Loaming once means that I get back Thespian Stage and Dark Depths, and then I just get to go and like make a Merit Lodge and just like throw it on the table, hope it works. So things are actually okay here. Slow? Painfully slow, but okay. Like, I'd still... Urza's Saga. Card goes in every deck. I would still say that I am unfavored. That vindicates. Rude. I'll go to 11. Yeah. I think I am now at the point where I am unlikely to win. my opponent has a shadow threat that can't be blocked by Merit Lodge, and will have 2 constructs over 2 turns in all likelihood. Liliana the Veil is not particularly doing a ton here. That's fine. Crop rotation can that's an awkward one to discard, isn't it? Because then like Douthie Voidwalker can potentially crop rotation for a wasteland. Do the Mox Diamond first. It's slightly awkward though, because if I draw a non-mana producing land, yeah. Alright. I'm going to continue playing for information. I want to see what my opponent gets off of Urza Saga Stage 3. Something like a Curse Scroll wouldn't really surprise me, but I would like to know. I just think that's hyper important information. Or if it's just going to be like an expedition map to do it again. Okay, Retrofitter Foundry is the card of choice. I'm just dead next turn. Don't think there's anything I can really do about that. Like, even ripping Tabernacle, my opponent can just pay. Opponent's deck is sweet. Okay, what a fucking opener. Okay, what do I want against my opponent's deck? Honestly, I think the game 1 stuff is probably fine most of the time. It was not that game, but I think I'm okay most of the time. I don't even know that I am going to sideboard. I want this Pithing Needle, actually. Take that Pithing Needle over 1 land. I don't think I'll board anything else. Like, I expect my opponent to be light on Graveyard Hate because they're playing Douthie Voidwalker, and I'm just going to maybe rightfully, maybe wrongfully assume that that doesn't mean like an entire set of ley lines in the sideboard if they're a little bit better against graveyard decks in game 1. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm also not sure if I am supposed to actually fight against Graveyard Hate or just win through it. This hand is exceptionally slow. I'm going to mulligan it. This hand has no plan to win. I can Pyrite Spellbomb. I can put a couple lands into play. I would rather keep something that has like a Life from the Loam or something. This hand is fine. The expedition map here is slow. That is going to go back. And then I think I throw back a Taiga in hopes that Sylvan Library allows me to make my future land drops. Alright, Mox Diamond, discard Taiga, play Grove, Sylvan Library. Sylvan Library is great versus discard. It's hard to remove for my opponent's deck. Possible, but a lot of their traditional removal spells won't interact favorably with it. Turn 1 Retrofitter Foundry. Okay. Let's always yield to this. I am going to just take the damage and plow through these cards. And then I'm gonna Mox Diamond, Junk the Ghost Quarter, play the Yavimaya, and pass. Alright, another basic from the opponent. To Sinkhole my Grove. That occurs. Not gonna just fire the Punishing Fire at the face. Dark Depths Crop Rotation. This is very good. So the question is like, how do I play this? I can just go for the immediate Merit Lodge, or I can play Karn. Going for the immediate Merit Lodge is pretty bad against Wasteland. I'm gonna take these cards one way or another. They are good cards. I think I am going to floop the Planeswalker into play though, and not just go turbo here. And make a construct. So then I can make my opponent worry about this Karn, when in actuality the Karn isn't the real threat. That's my plan. Alright. That's fine. Liliana. I will sacrifice this creature. That's okay. Oh, that's just a natural Thespian stage. That's quite good. All these cards are good. I can 2 mana, Punishing Fire this card. I kind of want to save the Punishing Fire. No, my opponent can't get a Thopter. That costs too much mana. Alright, so I can Punishing Fire Lily, then play Thespian Stage, have Thespian Stage depth available to me. That's fine. Let's put that on top. Let's put that on top. Play Thespian Stage. Minus this for a construct. Punishing Fire the Walker. Pass the turn, and now I play around an Edict effect. Alright, Urza Saga ticks up. Ah, you had Wasteland. Annoying. Really, all that means, though, is that I have to wait a turn. Yeah, that's okay. So when my opponent makes a construct, it will be a 2/2. So I like this Punishing Fire. The Life from the Loam is also pretty interesting, though. Like, I can avoid just going off here. I can pay 2 mana, Life from the Loam, Ghost Quarter that, pay 2 mana, Punishing Fire. Or no, I can have their construct around. That's fine. Okay. Put that on top of library. I will Karn plus. That's Exploration and Punishing Fire, both of which are just nutty here. We'll Life from the Loam and return 3 different cards. Alright, I will play Exploration. I will play Grove Ghost Quarter. I will Ghost Quarter your Urza Saga. And that prompts you to make the 2/2 in response. That's fine. Now, with all this on the stack, I'll go ahead and pay the red. Return Punishing Fire to my hand. Punishing Fire the 2/2 token before it gets big. Alright, I can make a servo. I don't think I need to attack in. I'm going to win this game in very large chunks of damage. There's the servo. That's fine. But I would much rather block I would much rather block 1 damage than push 3 damage when I am at 4 life. Okay, my opponent, him to Turok's away my crop rotation. It's not bad. Make some of my lines a little more awkward. Yeah, I'll dredge that Life from the Loam. Just very potent. I'll put both of those back on top. Alright. I guess I can just make Merilage twice this turn. The 4/4 fly. No, it's just a 4/4 construct. That's all fine. Like, I can just make Merilage, let my opponent wasteland it, Dark Depths, and do it again. Double check the mana. So 1, 2, plus this. 2 mana for Life from the Loam. That leaves me with 1 left over. Dark Depths tapping itself. Plus that 1, plus stage. Yeah, I can just try to produce Merilage twice in this turn. And that's totally reasonable. I'll start here. It's also possible that I can play this turn more conservatively. But let's just go ahead and do this. Alright, so I'll keep my copy. And this is where my opponent wastelands me. Yep. And I will Life from the Loam back, stage, depths, and I guess like Field of the Dead. 1, 2. Alright, so depths, stage, do it again. 1, 2. Keep the copy, and I'm just gonna hold back my creatures, I think. No, this can crash in, that's okay. Although I guess it doesn't really accomplish anything, because my opponent just sacks it. That's fine. My opponent now has something that can block Merilage, but I have Punishing Fire, so... Alright, there's a Plains. That can represent white removal for Merilage. Sorceress Spyglass. Okay. I mean, that's very good if they can answer the Merilage. Alright, they have picked Thespian Stage. So I will dredge with Life from the Loam, and then I'll get to look at new cards here. Okay. So that goes on top, and this goes on top. Go ahead and turn this. We'll pay red for that ability. And I will go ahead and nuke this now. Actually, timing. I want untapped lands. This enters tapped. I want to go ahead and Life from the Loam first. I'll get back like Thespian Stage, Urza's Ghost Quarter. A2. Alright. Play an Urza's Saga. I want to Ghost Quarter this land. Taking them up 1 mana could be relevant. Let's not do that. Put this Field of the Dead into play. Punishing Fire this. And my opponent will sack it. Okay, yep. There's the construct that I expected. Construct, however, does not fly. They're at 21 because of the Punishing Fire, though. Awkward. I think I just attack for 20. I don't think I go for the throat here because any removal spell would beat me. Yep. So now if my opponent has double removal spell, they can beat me. Okay. So that was a bit of a slog. And it was a little closer than I thought it was going to be. Do I want to change anything about sideboarding based on what I saw? For sure, Spyglass makes me want to think about Force of Vigor a little bit. Like, maybe have access to one or two of them. Yeah, yeah, let's go down that for one Force of Vigor. And then do I want another? I don't think so. Because, like, there's a lot of times where this is just going to be a dead card. Having access to one is okay. This is a turn 3 Karn hand. That also has combo potential, but it's a little clunky. Not necessarily great versus wastelands and sinkholes and such. Well, kind of. I think I keep the hand. But I don't think the hand is great. Just like every time you can choose to not mulligan versus decks like these, it's often correct. This gives me a real plan. Now I just play like Urza Saga into Ancient Tomb and go double constructs, and like that's my plan for this game. Alright, well, we tried. I think this is just Ancient Tomb pass. So this doesn't play around a wasteland or sinkhole, but it allows me to just play Karn next turn if I rip a Mox. So I don't know if this line is correct, but it's what I'm playing towards. Yeah. So then Grove pass. Slow start to the game. I would currently say that my opponent is ahead, especially now. Okay, I mean that's going to resolve. I think I am no longer on the plan of casting cards. I think I am on the plan of comboing off as quickly as possible and hoping that it works. Alright. Wonder if my opponent has Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle specifically. For Urza Saga 3rd stage reasons. Very good if they do. Yet. That's so bad. Alright. What land do I even sacrifice here? I guess it's Thespian stage, and then I like recoup with Life from the Loam. Alright, I'll discard a Maze of Ith. Sacrifice my Thespian stage. But this is a bit of a beating. Oh no! That Surgical Extraction is good. If I want to combo off, then I need to crop rotation for Thespian stage here. Alright. I am in danger. This one Thespian stage has to get me there. Otherwise, I have to win via, like, Karn or Urza's Construct tokens. And now that I use the crop rotation, I can't just go and get the Yavimaya to combo as quickly as possible, which means I start, like, getting into the territory where, like, Liliana could actually do Liliana things. Oh, thank you. That is a good draw. That is a very, 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 very good draw. Life from the Loam. Get back, like, Ancient Tomb, Tabernacle, Urza Saga. Just a lot of padding. I think I want the Dark Depths to be in play. Question mark. So the kind of scary thing here is a potential Pithing Needle off this Urza Saga. The Liliana Ultimate is also a little annoying because I only have a single green source currently. I'm gonna have to work on that. Yeah, that's a needle. I've got a Force of Vigor that can answer that. Oh, my opponent did not use Liliana's ability. Huh? I think I just take a natural draw this turn and play Urza Saga. And that's my turn, unfortunately. I will remove an ice counter at my opponent's end step, though. Don't you worry. I won't forget about doing that. Right, Douthie Voidwalker is a good magic card here. Makes some of my life from the Loam based shenanigans a little bit worse. It hits me for 2. I'm at 17. And they're still not using their Liliana, so they have some good card in hand now. I'll be taking natural draws from here, I think. Tabernacle time. I have 1, 2 mana sources plus Urza Saga. Yeah, it's Tabernacle time. Just tie up my opponent's mana. Alright, looks like my opponent is paying for their critters. Now, Douthie Voidwalker does have Shadow. Can't block that one. I can think about blocking the Construct, though. But I might be better off using my Urza Saga to pressure my opponent's Liliana. Alright, reach, discard a card. I'll junk the Ancient Tomb. Alright, the Douthie Voidwalker only swings in. I will go to 14. Okay, quick mana check. I have 2 mana. It makes an Urza Saga token. And if I pay for 1, then I'm not actually doing what I want, am I? Then I can't make another one in the main phase? Yes, that is correct. So I'm better off removing an ice counter here, oddly. Unless I want to pressure my opponent's Planeswalker in this turn cycle because it's about to ultimate, that's totally reasonable. Like my 2/2 versus their 2/2. What am I getting with my Urza Saga ability? Oh, I have a Pithing Needle. So I can Pithing Needle the Liliana and not have to worry about it. So am I just making a construct then? Yes, making a construct is fine. So upkeep, I pay. I do not want to Life from the Loam this turn. My deck has other thoughts about that. I will float a mana here. Get Pithing Needle. Liliana of the Veil. Okay. So now I can Life from the Loam and get back 3 lands. Paying 1 and 2. I can play Maze of Ith to deal with Douthie Voidwalker, and then I can hold this construct back. All in all, not a bad turn cycle. And my opponent still has to deal with this Tabernacle tax while also trying to advance their board. Okay, they have gotten rid of their construct. That's a huge win for me. Alright, I will untap you. Alright, my opponent has a Wasteland. Wouldn't be surprised to see my Maze of Ith go. I don't know that they have to make that decision now. Will not be doing Life from the Loam. A crop rotation. I don't have a lot of time. Blast Zone is pretty damn good. Let's assume that one way or another I start working towards that. Better after this Wasteland gets fired off, though. Okay. I will crop rotation, sacrificing my Maze of Ith. I could just replace it. No, I'm going to get Blast Zone. Always yield to that. Blast Zone is 3 to sacrifice, so I can't do it right now. I guess if I Blast Zone, it gets rid of both the Pithing Needles. That is a touch awkward. Yeah, I regret not getting Maze of Ith instantly. I think. Alright, I go to 11. Alright, opponent has a new land. That's fine. Prevent the destruction of my critter. Not replace that. Wooded Foothills is not a good draw. I guess I can just kill their Liliana over 2 turns as well. That's just the other way to do this. I can also just kill the Douthie Voidwalker with Blast Zone. So much worse than just Maze of Ithing it, but I might have put myself into that situation. I take 3 down to 8. Sinkhole on the Blast Zone. Well, that does kind of force my hand. So I can turn your Liliana back on, but then I can also do this stuff again. I think I accept that. I do also need to start watching my clock. I've tanked a little bit too hard on some very complicated turns. I also just have like a lot of clicking to do. Alright. Just play? Alright. Just play. Alright. Taiga pass. My opponent can use their Douthie Voidwalker to get one of my cards from exile and prevent themselves from dying to my onboard stuff. Oh, fuck, they drew a Wasteland. That's devastating. I was trying to wait and get them to use the Douthie Voidwalker to take that out of play as well. Alright. Man, I guess I should have just made it upkeep, but then like that doesn't play around Edict effects. Oh man, I just got super savagely punished. Stage. No, I can't blink here. It's all made awkward by the fact that like this is my one stage. Alright. Yep. Tried to play around Edict effects and put myself into a very bad position as a result. Yeah. That's bad. Uh-huh. I think I'm donezo. I could remove some ice counters here, but I need to value my clock. If I win this, it's going to be a miracle. Exploration does not do it. Alright. GG. I played around an Edict effect, like or like another Liliana, like that sort of thing. And then I played into Wasteland. I thought I was gonna like force my opponent to activate Douthie Voidwalker, and then I would make my Merilage in response. All right. This deck was pretty good. I like this one. The games are very, very slow. I would say like that's a downside of the deck. I wouldn't want to be grinding Magic Online leagues with this deck for sure. And you need to be familiar with what you're doing, I think, to play this deck really well. Like I played this deck fine. Like this was a 3-2 that was incredibly close to being a 4-1. But like I think if I would have thought for half a second longer and if I would have gotten Maze of Ith instead of the Blast Zone, I probably won that game. Or like I could have played around things differently. Like I could have played around the Wasteland instead of playing around like another Liliana or another Edict. Yeah, but I like this deck. I don't know that I have any major thoughts about how to change the cards that are in it. Pyrite Spellbomb didn't seem particularly strong, and it only like it's hard to use the red side of it, and as a cycler, it's not particularly bad. I think I would not want Pyrite Spellbomb in the main deck. So I would maybe swap that out for a main deck Retrofitter Foundry or even Pithing Needle. Probably Retrofitter Foundry. Although like game 1 Pithing Needle on Wasteland is kind of cool too. I guess you're a Wasteland deck though. Yeah, but I would be looking at changing Pyrite Spellbomb, and I don't think I would change any other cards without playing another league with this deck. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And as always, I'm taking sweet donation deck lists to see your own things on stream. Have a great rest of the day, folks.